was like bulging up here, and I wanted to see if I could peek in and see what they did on this door, if we can save it or not. And they put cardboard over the transom window and then put wall texture on top of corrugated cardboard on the door. Hey guys, today I'm going to show you my workspace where I ideally would be doing all of my listing and storing inventory, editing videos, shipping, all that fun stuff, but it actually has had way too much stuff in it, and I ended up like dragging stuff to the living room to list. So I have been wanting to reorganize in here for a while, and then, you know, Shed Flips decided to do like a 3-day video on completely transforming their space, so I had to get cooking on mine too. It is pretty empty in here now. That's because I pulled out just about everything that isn't currently listed. But there's still a lot, and so here it is. Some people may choose to put doors on their offices. I prefer a green army blanket. I have a couple doors in the basement. I just have to figure out which one fits. And now this first shelf, I normally keep all of my broke down boxes on it for shipping, and I did pull all of them out just to get ready for cleaning this space up. The stuff that's on there is actually listed. It needs to go back into the tubs where I store it because people didn't show up for porch pickups or something like that. And then this is also listed stuff. I'm really trying to get off of like big stuff for listing unless it's high dollar. So once I get this room all reorganized, this stuff will probably get listed really low, prices lowered, and then just move it out. This is a window that I actually want to put a table in front of for listing photos so I can take advantage of the nice light, and then probably put a desk next to that so I can have a window to look out of. But right now this is my listed inventory. Not all of these totes are full. A lot of them are. So this table was my incoming inventory. I had boxes and totes on top and underneath. You would think that this is a window, right? Like it's got a curtain, but it's not. It's actually a door. It's sealed up from the outside and has been sealed so long that they actually put this like texture stuff on the door. So we're gonna have to completely redo that, open it up from the outside, probably replace the door. But on the plus side, then I'll have an entrance and exit out of here, and I won't have to drag new inventory all the way through the whole house to get to this room. And all of the walls have this like texture stuff on it that I hate. It just looks dated and it holds dirt. And I've actually cut myself on it because some parts are really pointy. I have started before I peeled some of it off, and it came off pretty easily. So that's gonna be my big project. We're also gonna get a new ceiling light. And the floors, you can see that leaking was a problem here forever ago because they just kind of sawed off the boards where it was rotted and put down new stuff. We're gonna put down some subfloor and then probably just those peel and stick tiles for now because I want something temporary that we can change later if we want to. So yeah, it is a lot of space. It probably won't all stay just my office space because there isn't a lot of storage in this house. Like there's literally no closets, so some things do need somewhere to stay. Oh yeah, there's just like an opening to the kitchen up there. But no, some of the stuff does need somewhere to stay, so I'll have to designate a shelf in the corner that's for our stuff that we're keeping in storage. Now ideally right behind me, I think I'm going to put a packing area. This long metal folding table I've had has been great, especially for bigger packages, or I can pack up all my small ones, scoot them to the side, and keep going and not have to stop as much as I would have had a little table. But I also want to put all my boxes and poly mailers and bubble mailers on a rolling cart because I don't need to get to my packing shelf constantly. But being able to move stuff in and out of the way might give me a little bit more room in this area. And listing area I'm going to put in front of the window just to get some better lighting. And these are all going to switch to the other side of the room. The problem with having my workspace right inside the door is it kind of piles up really quickly, and then you can't really access the rest of the room. So I think having my inventory when you first come in means that when I do get new stuff and drag it in here to list, it'll be in the back corner and not right up front in the way. But I think actually having a desk in here means that I will stay in one spot to do my listing and hopefully editing more videos, answering questions. And I also keep a Facebook page with all my listings, a lot easier to see than trying to scroll through or search. So I think that will be nicer to have one designated area for everything in this room. This corner, I'm probably going to put all my smalls. I don't like putting them in the big totes. I like keeping them in the drawers. It's just a little bit faster to pull them out. So first step is take all of the things that aren't in totes with lids on them, get them all out of here so they don't get ruined when we start pulling down this texture. And we uncovered this door and realized it's the original one of the house. There's the transom up there. So we're gonna try and save at least the door frame. We'll probably have to replace the actual door though. So the plan for today was to put in the subfloor. But what are we gonna do instead?
We're gonna clear off this wall of all the texture. So it should be as simple as spraying it with water and scraping it. Should be as simple as spraying water and scraping it.
So the end of day one, we found out a couple of things. One is that the method we were going to use to scrape off the texturing is actually damaging the walls and some of the plaster beneath it. So instead of just taking it completely off, I think we're just going to sand it down a little bit. That should actually go a little bit faster, but we do need to head up to the hardware store in the morning and get some different scrapers because the ones we have now just aren't the right angle for just skimming off the top. The first big rainstorm after we bought this house, the gutter was actually turned wrong and poured all of the water straight down onto this corner of the room. I don't know if that was the problem the whole time or if there was another like flooding problem because again half the floor almost was replaced in the 80s. And there was carpeting when we moved in that was obviously had been wet at some point. So that was all ripped out. We patched up and sealed what we could and then left the room for when we needed it and decided what we wanted to do and handled other problems sooner. But this whole wall was drywall. This is right here too. But this is the wall that was getting wet from the gutter at least. And the drywall was placed directly against the brick, so we ended up having to pull it all. It was pretty rotted and at some point had been moldy. There's dead mold inside it. So that was super fun. While I love exposed brick and we have it in a few of the rooms, we're not going to leave it here, in part because it's not great for installation. And this is just like a work room. It's not something we're going to look at all the time. It's going to be behind shelves anyway. But also down here at the bottom, the electrical would have to be rerun so that it would be flush against the wall because it can't be floating like this. So we could rerun all of the electrical or we could just rehang drywall, which it's not a big enough deal to me to keep a few feet of exposed brick. Now it's going to be sloping in any old house, but unfortunately right here, the original support beam rotted out, and so this part is just kind of floating. So we are going to have to pull up a couple boards, put some more support down there, and then lay the flooring after that. But this is a ground level room, so it's not a huge fix or big time sink. It does look like the door, we can save the actual frame. Seems like it's in really good shape. It just needs to be painted so it's weatherproofed. The actual door itself, the interior is covered in this texture, and I really hope we can get it off it and save the door. Before I spend all the time trying to clean it off though, we are going to pull the board and see what it looks like if it operates. So a little bit of cleaning, and then see if we can open it and how that's looking before we spend all the time trying to clean it off. The glass in the transom does need to be replaced. It seems like it was broken before they closed it off, which is sad, but we can take it and get new glass put in it, and that'll be really nice to have in there. Plus it'll let a lot more light into this room.